Hey, what is up? This is AJ here from Fire from Heaven. Welcome to another episode of the Fire from Heaven show. Today, I'm going to be sharing a song that you might have heard or not. It's available on my Bandcamp, but it hasn't been released on, bigger streaming platforms like Spotify and stuff like that. But it's called A Stirring of Rage. This is going to be on the upcoming Hellstormer album. And we're going to jam it. Then I might talk a little bit about the inspiration and stuff like that behind it. This has been on Bandcamp for a little while now. Since May. Beginning of May, so it's been about a month. So, yeah. You want to jam it, you can definitely check it out on Bandcamp. It'll be releasing at some point on Spotify and all those. Anyways, let's jam out and talk about it. A stirring of rage. So yeah. Talk about the instrumental inspiration. If you kind of listen close, I was really trying hard not to default to like an open string breakdown. Like, just like open chugs. Like, and I tried not to do like really any just open chugging, like a lot of that, you know what I mean? Like, I was trying really hard not to be, it's pretty common in metal. You write like a lot of riffs that way. And I think for the main riff, you have the like I did a little bit there, but like I was trying really hard not to. So I'll play the breakdown again. And then for the final part, there's that riff. So yeah, but all throughout the whole song, like I didn't use open strings like openly, I guess. That was like, I'm sharing that because that was like kind of one of my goals for the song, and that's kind of what helped inspire the song, I guess. So I was doing like a lot of like basically power chords for the rhythm. I mean, there's riffs and stuff in there, but there's just a lot of power chords. So kind of how I compensated for that is by having a lot of leads in there. Like, it kind of has that intro guitar, like setting the theme sort of, and then there's different parts where the leads come in, and I was kind of going for more of a, if you listen to like a lot of symphonic metal songs, like classic symphonic metal, they don't do a lot of stuff that modern metal does, or like metalcore and deathcore. That's kind of like what I was going for instrumentally. It's like more of like a symphonic metal song, only more riffs and more leads, because a lot of symphonic metal is just very heavily leaning on the the symphony part, which I have some of that, but like just usually the guitars are pretty playing like power chords and stuff like that, and not a lot of riffs. I mean, sometimes they have great solos, but other than that, they don't have a lot of leads. So yeah, I mean, depending on the band, obviously, because there are some bands that do way better than I did here. So, but yeah, like all songs from the Hellstormer album, it's sharing the story of the character in my book, Hellstormer. And like the beginning where he's talking about being stirred from sinful sleep and by a waking fire in me. That's kind of at the beginning of the story, where he's, just kind of dragging through life. And you can go and listen to some of the live readings of the book to get a better grasp of like what's going on in the story, or you could just get the book yourself, firefromheavenshop.com. But live in a world that's been taken over by invaders, and his people are basically just like they're enslaved, but they're enslaved in a comfortable way, which probably sounds ridiculous, but that's the idea I wanted to kind of give there with that book and everything, just being sort of enslaved to kind of not to comfort, but in a sense being enslaved with just being okay, like dragging through life and just not really doing anything with yourself, because like we live in a time where that's possible. You can get through life just giving the bare minimum, show up at your day job or whatever, be able to pay your bills and not really do anything else in life, not really engage in life. There's so many different ways you can escape life, and so many ways you could just get your mind off the problems that you need to face and deal with. So that's really like what this story is about. And I mean, it's allegorical, because it's about these people who basically they declare war on the invaders, and they what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the right word, but they launch a rebellion against their invaders, basically. I can't think of the right word there. That's not what I meant, but they start a rebellion. This Hellstormer, he starts a rebellion. I mean, the rebellion was kind of going on in different parts of the world, kind of, and yeah, that's what the story is really about. It's just declaring war against living passively is really what it is, and just declaring war against all our demons, so to speak. Like, I think people probably know what I mean when I say that. It's rather than choosing to live comfortably and engage in things to help me escape so I can get my mind off my problems, it's an intentional turning towards my problems, facing them and dealing with them. It's a big part of what's going on here and the message I wanted to bring when I wrote the story and with this album. It's a big turning towards responsibility, personal responsibility, and turning away from blaming everyone else, blaming everything. I just said everyone else. Everything under the sun that you could think of for living a life that you don't like, so you just try to escape. It's very intentional turning towards personal responsibility. Taking responsibility. Acting. Taking action. Stop whining. Take action. So, at a point in the story, he's just sick of it. And that's what he's talking about with this ember fan to a flame. Excuse me. Then one of the lines I say here is, I can't stop the fury that is rising. Fury, I forgot how I heard it defined. The best way I heard it defined is like a righteous rage to make something right. That's why it's righteous in a sense. Not self-righteous. Anytime people hear that, they're like, you're self-righteous hypocrite. Stop being dumb. Talking about personal responsibility. Taking your life into your own hands, not being a fatalist. And then the next line, you can't stop true faith from acting. True, genuine faith in something. Faith as in a set of beliefs, not just faith in a vague, useful sense. Faith as a set of beliefs is going to act on that set of beliefs. It's going to reflect that set of beliefs if it is genuine. And, again, he's like looking back. He's like, the next line, I will sit in despair no longer. I will stir the rage even further. So, see, like intentionally thinking about that which makes you angry. And the reason for that is to fuel the fire to make it right. You actually really sit and allow yourself to think about that. That probably sounds unhealthy to some people, but it's helpful for me. Something I want to change in my life, something that makes me mad, I'm going to think about, because then that is going to fuel me to do something to make it right, because I believe that I can do something. So yeah, well, we can keep continuing here. Let's see. Now the next part. I'm very trying to think. When you read my lyrics, I'm kind of, it seems very all over the place. And it seems very unorganized. And in a sense, that's true. Whenever I write what is on my mind. After like years of writing, I let the thoughts flow where they go. I'm not going to try and keep it here if it the song goes somewhere else. So, and that is kind of like the best way I've learned to express myself, is to just let me express me, what I'm feeling and what I want to say. I mean, sometimes I'll refine it a little bit, but like when I get in a writing zone, I just let myself go. Some people be like, oh no, that doesn't make sense. They'll think about it a lot. Like, no, this doesn't make sense. That doesn't get our message across the best way it possibly could or whatever. Like, if that's how you write, that's fine. But that's not how I do, is all I'm saying. I just let myself go and I write. So, now where was I going on with that? Now kind of like I'll shift back and forth from perspectives or the things I'm talking about. So like it's very introspective in a sense here in the beginning, like talking about, telling the story of the character and what's going on from a personal perspective. But then he's shifting his rage towards, that which enrages him, which in this story, it is his, like the invaders of his world, his demons, which are representative of his demons, if you know what I mean, like the problems he doesn't want to deal with in himself. So really this is a whole allegory about dealing with yourself, taking responsibility for your own life, taking action to change those things inside of yourself and the circumstances around you to the extent that you can, because some things you aren't necessarily able to change. You can do your best, but we'll be real, like there are some things that you can't change. You can't control whether or not your child ends up sick or something like that, or your child ends up like having some kind of medical condition, for example. Things like that are what I'm referring to. I'm not referring to something like it's a good example. Not referring to something like finances or, something like that you're actually capable of changing if you just take some personal responsibility, take some action, and be disciplined. Anyways, kind of shifts from perspectives or what he's talking about. So he's looking at himself, introspection, which really the whole story of the storming of hell is the storming of the hell in myself, really. But the next few lines: see the judgment you cast upon me drop on your neck like a guillotine. Watch your judgment drop and you deal the death blow upon yourself. So, kind of shifting from introspection to like the demons, like his tormentors and his invaders. That's kind of like where he's shifting his perspective towards those who are in basically judging him. And I don't mean I mean bad judgment, with bad judgment. And it's trying to think of the best way to explain it, because I will go in and out from the character's perspective and his story and stuff like that to my own personal perspective in addressing, voices in my own life, I guess. So as I think about it, that's probably more where I was going when I wrote that. Yes. I literally let my thoughts flow. I write and I don't care. You know? I'll refine it again, but like I'll go back and forth between the character's perspective and my perspective, and this is more of my perspective, like these few lines, like addressing people in my own life, and it's speaking more of like what the Bible says when it comes to judging, being judged according to how you judge others. The sad thing is that people just don't think about it, um, but that the Bible says that you're going to be judged how you judge others. So take care how you're judging people. Didn't say not to judge people, but it said to judge with good judgment. Anytime you look about something or think about something, you're going to make a judgment. You're going to do that with every person you encounter. So don't try to act like you don't. That is authentic hypocrisy. When you think that. Anyways, but that's what I'm talking about there is you declare your own death sentence with how you judge is essentially what I'm saying. And then the next few lines, see the doom you put on me be cast on thee. So there's where the parallel is between the story and my own life, addressing the demons in the story. There is one called the Doom Keeper, who basically declares the doom of every man at some point in their life. Says, you're going to do this, or that, or whatever, and that's your fate, that's your doom. Doom is like another word for fate, basically. It's just like a scarier way of saying it. But that's what I'm saying there. The doom you put on someone else, the judgment, basically, is what this Doomkeeper did. He basically just cast his own doom upon people, his judgment. But Hellstormer saying that's going to be put back on you, basically. And even deeper, that's addressing the Doomkeeper, but it's also addressing the lead devil in the story, the lead demon, basically. And then he says, you are your own empire's undoing. And then I go on to say, like, you're basically you're going to be the destroyer of your own kingdom. You're going to destroy your own empire, and your fall is set, deceiver. And I go back to more of like talking about himself a little bit. I am indwelt with the flame, saying I'm full of rage. I am full of the flame. The flame in the story he's talking about is basically a spirit of fire in all the people that are the fireborn in the story. They are born with this flame. And I'm just kind of like doing some trash talking here. I am indwelt with the flame. Do not speak to me. Fun fact, that's from the Hobbit movie. I think it's this third one where Thorin's like he has the dragon sickness, and he's being like just a complete opposite of who he was because of the riches he now has. But just whenever someone's like confronting him, I feel like he says it several times in the movie. He's like, do not speak to me. I was like, I have to put that in a song because that'd be fun. So I was like, I'm going to throw that in there. But then the next few lines, I'll just read it again because it makes more sense like as a whole. I am indwelt with the flame. Do not speak to me. As if faith with no actions were living. 'Tis dead and empty like the words you speak. Oh, yeah. Trash talking there in an epic way. Tis. I have tis in there. Then the next few lines. No fallacy will convince me. No heresy will be my doctrine of belief. Fan the flames of anger, of rage. Stir the fire within with all that you say. So it's like another thing I'm trying to say here is like, with all the negative things people tell you, like, find a way to turn that into fuel for the fire. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying is like, with just when people are running their mouth, all it's doing is giving me more fuel, you know? Because I know how to direct that anger into something positive. I have a way to express that in a positive way. That's what I'm saying. And then next few lines. You want war? You'll get what you came for. You want death? Let me give it to you. I'm talking, this is the character talking to the demons. I'm not saying I'm going to kill whoever's listening. That's ridiculous. But people would probably try to claim that nowadays. You wanted blood? He gave it. A reference to Jesus. Now you can't touch me. Oh. So yeah. Trash talking to the devil. You wanted death? See the plague of death die. Now it has no power, no roots for its chains. I'm free. All you take will be paid back in full. All you want will be given, but not in the way that you wanted. Your discord will be turned to harmony. All the havoc you wreak will prove to be your undoing. Stir the rage, unleash the fury. Call me all the names under the sun. Say what you want, I care not. And just all of this, a lot of this ending part, like the bridge here and everything, the build up for the breakdown lyrics and everything, just trash talking the devil. And then the last few lines, while you're talking about what faith should look like, I'll be right here living it with every step I take. Want to see faith? Watch me leap from doom to destiny. Your perception is your prison. Mine is my freedom. So now he's addressing more of like the followers of the Doomkeeper, so to speak. I can't talk. Because the followers of the Doomkeeper, the Fatalists, they like to do a lot of talking about what things should look like, but not a lot of action. I don't see a lot of action with the people that are talking a lot these days, is what I'm saying. And see a lot of people talking about it, not a lot of people living it out. So, and then I make the comparison, want to see faith, watch me leap from doom to destiny. Your perception is your prison, mine is my freedom. So, doom and destiny, they're the same thing, basically. But doom is just more of a haunting, scary, well, it's not scary, creepy. Just more of like a haunting word. You know, it's something that's like, oh, you're doomed. Like, you know what I mean? Destiny's like, I will step into my destiny and be victorious. So it's two completely different perspectives on the same concept, essentially. Gosh. So then, I talk a little bit more of what I'm saying when I say, watch me leap from doom to destiny. I'm turning away from one attitude, one set of thinking, one mindset, one perception, if you will, and turning towards another. One is, we're all doomed. That kind of thing, you know. I guess we're just doomed to die, doomed to live and die in this meaningless world. Or shift that from that perception to, I'm here for a reason, I'm here for a purpose, I'm going to step into that, I'm going to seize that, I'm going to act upon it. I believe that, so I'm going to reflect that in everything I do in my life as best as I can. It's just a change in perspective, perception. So one is imprisoning, the other is freeing. It's all a mind game. Everything in life, I'm convinced it all comes down to a mind game. The doomsayers, followers of the doomkeeper, they'll be like, you're just lying to yourself. You can say what you want. You have nothing to prove that. Gosh. You have nothing to prove that. Even if I was, I would rather think that way, rather lie to myself and lean towards something like that, towards meaning and purpose, than to accept this. To accept that I'm just here for no reason, that I'm just here. No reason, no purpose at all, no meaning. I would rather tell myself a lie and live in purpose than to accept something like that. Which I believe that's more of a truthful lie than it is a truth. So yeah. But there is some of the ideas, concepts going behind the lyrics in that song. So yeah, that is all I'm going to share for this episode of the Fire from Heaven show. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like it, subscribe if you're not already, share it, and if you want more music, you can check out Bandcamp. You can check out firefromheavenshop.com. Get CDs. I have a CD bundle. You can get like 9 albums. Or you can check out the Patreon. It's a great way to help support me consistently. And you get access to excuse me. My album Dark Realm, which is more of an exclusive album. It hasn't been released publicly except a few songs. So check that out. I actually did a video where I was kind of showcasing a few of the songs that haven't been released, but I don't give them away. So check that out. And I